Hey, hey, look at you. Yeah, you, if nobody's told you this today, let me be the one to say it straight to your face. The room feels different because you walked in. And you know what's crazy? They can't believe it. Like, actually can't process it. You see it in their eyes? That pause, that little glitch in their behavior. The same people who used to talk over you are suddenly listening real close. The same ones who acted like you were invisible are now watching every move, like it's a trailer they don't want to miss. Because they finally get it. Not because you explained yourself. Not because you begged for understanding. But because life itself handed them the proof. And it slapped them in the mouth. See, you didn't change overnight. You changed quietly. While they were distracted, while they were busy laughing, doubting, minimizing, scrolling past your existence like you were nothing. And, let's be honest, that's the part that messes with them the most. You didn't break when they expected you to. You didn't fold. You didn't disappear. You absorbed pressure. Pressure like bills. Pressure like betrayal. Pressure like being underestimated in rooms where you knew you were sharper than everyone, but didn't have the title yet. Pressure like being talked about behind your back while smiling to people's faces. Pressure like walking alone for so long that loneliness stopped scaring you and started training you. And now they're confused, because the version of you standing here doesn't ask for validation, doesn't flinch at silence, doesn't chase attention. And that terrifies people who only feel important when they're loud. You see, respect didn't come when you wanted it. It came when you stopped needing it. That's the animus morphosis part of this, that moment where the world realizes the joke wasn't on you. It was on them the whole time. They laughed early. You collected late. And now that respect, yeah, that respect, it don't sound forced. It's not polite. It's not fake. It's the kind that comes with distance, the kind with hesitation, the kind where people say your name differently now. Slower, carefully, like it carries weight. They finally understand that you weren't quiet because you were weak. You were quiet because you were calculating. You weren't slow. You were loading. And every scar they ignored, that turned into structure. Every insult you swallowed, that became discipline. Every night you questioned yourself instead of quitting, that became vision. So, yeah, they get it now. But here's the part they still don't fully grasp. And this is where you feel it in your chest. You didn't do all that to impress them. You did it because you were tired of betraying yourself. Because one day you woke up and realized staying small hurt more than failing big. Because you were done explaining your potential to people who only respect results. And now that the results are visible, now that your energy walks into the room 5 seconds before you do, now that your silence feels louder than their opinions, they're offering respect like it was always there. But you know the truth. You remember who clowned you, who doubted you, who vanished when you were broke, tired, unsure, still building with nothing but belief and a tired phone battery. And listen, this isn't about revenge. It's about clarity. You finally see yourself the way you wished someone else would back then. And that's dangerous, in the best way. Because once you stop needing permission, once you stop shrinking to make other people comfortable, once you stop confusing kindness with weakness, you move different. You speak different. You choose different. People feel that. They feel it when you don't rush anymore, when you don't explain anymore, when you don't chase closure and just walk away with your dignity intact. And yeah, that's why the respect looks wild now. That's why it feels overdue. That's why it tastes almost surreal. Because it is. You survived the phase where nobody believed in you, including days where you struggled to believe in yourself. And now you're standing in a season where even the doubters have no choice but to nod. Not because you demanded it, because you earned it the hard way. And the craziest part? You're still not done. You're just getting warmed up. Because deep down, you already know this version of you is only scratching the surface. And that's the part that keeps the tension humming in your chest, even when the room goes quiet. Notice how conversations change when you speak now. People don't interrupt the way they used to. They wait. There's that half-second pause, that recalibration, like they're adjusting their expectations in real time because the old ones don't fit anymore. You're not saying anything louder. You're not trying to dominate the space, but your presence takes weight, like it's been upgraded without an announcement. And it's funny, kinda dark funny, how quick people forget the chapters where they underestimated you. They swear they always believed, always saw the potential. But you remember the energy. You remember being talked to like a backup plan, like a maybe one day. You remember being the punchline in subtle ways, the way people smiled but didn't listen, nodded but didn't commit. That kind of memory doesn't fade. It sharpens your awareness. That awareness feeds something inside you. Not ego, not arrogance. It's quieter than that. It's certainty. The kind that doesn't need to be defended because it shows up in your posture, in how you move through stress without broadcasting it, in how you handle pressure without exploding. People feel it when you don't overreact anymore. They feel it when chaos hits and you're strangely calm, like you've already been here mentally 1,000 times before it ever happened outside. And yeah, they finally see it, that you weren't fragile, you were layered, that the silence they mistook for weakness was actually self-control being trained under fire. You were learning how to sit with discomfort, how to outlast doubt, how to keep going when motivation fell off and discipline had to carry you. That stuff rewires a person. You can't unlearn it. You can't go back to the version of yourself that needed applause to feel real. You notice it in the little interactions, too. The way people frame their words more carefully around you. The way they test the temperature before making jokes they used to throw freely. It's not fear, it's recognition. They sense you're not operating off impulse anymore. You're operating off principle, off patterns, off lessons paid for in exhaustion, isolation, and nights where quitting felt logical, but something stubborn in you refused to cooperate. And there's this internal smirk, this joker kind of awareness, because you see how fragile their confidence actually is, how much of it was built on being comfortable, being validated, being surrounded by noise. You grew in silence. You grew when nobody was watching, when nobody was clapping, when support was a concept, not a reality. That kind of growth doesn't make noise, it changes gravity. The respect you're getting now isn't ceremonial, it's instinctive. It's people sensing that you've walked through something they avoided, that you've sat with parts of yourself they keep distracting themselves from. When you speak, it carries that weight, not because you're trying to inspire, but because you've lived through the gap between who you were and who you refused to stay as. And the wild thing is, none of this required you to become cruel. You didn't harden into bitterness. You didn't lose your humanity. You just stopped letting people define your limits. You kept your edge sharp and your heart intact, which is rare. and people can feel rare even if they don't know how to name it. There's this rhythm to how you move now. Deliberate, unbothered, alert without being reactive. Like you finally trust yourself enough to let things unfold without forcing them. That trust wasn't handed to you. It was built through repetitions, messing up, owning it, adapting, showing up again when it would have been easier to disappear. And, that's why even when nobody's talking, even when the room is still, you can feel it. This underlying recognition buzzing in the air, that you're not the same person they once overlooked, not the same person they felt safe dismissing, not the same person they assumed would stay in that box they quietly built for you. And the box doesn't exist anymore. And you can feel them adjusting to that fact in real time, trying to catch up, trying to recalibrate, trying to understand how someone becomes this solid without announcing it, how someone turns pressure into composure and doubt into clarity, how someone carries chaos with a grin, like they've already made peace with it and decided to keep moving anyway, like you already made peace with the fact that chaos doesn't scare you anymore. It just wakes something up. You can feel it, right? That shift where situations that used to spike your anxiety barely move your pulse. Deadlines, pressure, expectations, eyes on you. It's all familiar terrain. You've been rehearsing this moment in silence for years without even realizing it. Every time you kept your mouth shut instead of explaining yourself. Every time you walked away instead of begging to be understood. Every time you swallowed that urge to prove something and chose to improve instead. People sense that restraint. They don't know the workouts you did in your head, the arguments you resolved alone at 3 a.m, the way you talked to yourself through moments that could have broken you. That's why the respect feels heavier than compliments. It's not about praise anymore. It's about positioning. They're clocking where you stand in the room. They're adjusting their tone. Their posture changes. Their jokes soften. Their assumptions evaporate. And you see it through that Joker filter. You recognize the pattern because you used to be on the other side of it. You used to watch people who carried this kind of energy and wonder how they got there. What unlocked that calm confidence? What flipped that internal switch? Nobody tells you it's built through delayed reactions, through choosing discipline when comfort is loud, through letting disappointment toughen your skin without poisoning your spirit. There's a moment when people realize you're not easily rattled, not hungry for approval, not desperate for access. That's when respect becomes automatic. They start asking instead of assuming. They start listening instead of talking over you. Not because you demanded space, but because you claim it by existing the way you do. Grounded, observant, sharp, without being loud. You catch them trying to reconnect with the version of you they remember, the one they felt superior to, the one they could predict. But that version isn't online anymore. You've updated. You've outgrown the need to perform for comfort. That's unsettling to people who rely on familiarity to feel powerful. Unpredictability paired with consistency messes with their internal math. And the wild part is how normal it feels to you. You're not walking around feeling invincible. You're just honest with yourself. You trust your instincts because they've been tested. You don't rush decisions because you've learned the cost of reacting too fast. You don't overshare because you've seen how information gets twisted. You move like someone who's been burned but didn't turn into ash. That respect in their eyes, it's recognition of survival, of adaptation, of resilience that didn't announce itself with fireworks, but left undeniable evidence. They sense you've lived through things that rewired how you process loss, pressure, loyalty, patience. That changes the way you show up everywhere. Work, relationships, conversations, silence. There's a steadiness in you that can sit in uncomfortable rooms without reaching for distractions. You don't fill the silence anymore. You let it sit there and do its thing. Silence exposes people. It reveals who's confident in themselves and who needs noise to hide behind. You've learned to breathe in that space like it's home turf. And when they finally get it, when that realization lands fully, you don't celebrate it out loud. You just clock it internally. That subtle nod of understanding, that confirmation that your internal work has gone external, that the grind nobody clapped for turned into gravity nobody can ignore. You carry that awareness without announcing it, without flexing, just letting it shape how you move forward, how you choose your battles, how you protect your energy, how you keep building quietly while the room adjusts to the fact that you aren't who they thought you were, and you haven't been for a long time, and the understanding keeps spreading in the background, rippling through conversations you're not even part of, through glances, through pauses, through that unmistakable shift where respect stops being optional and becomes instinctive in a way that doesn't need meetings or explanations, just felt. You notice it when you're not even trying to be impressive, when you're just existing, sitting back, observing, and people keep checking your reaction first before they speak, like your response sets a temperature they don't even realize they're obeying. That wasn't taught to you. That was earned through moments where you had nobody to lean on but your own judgment. And it's wild because you remember the days your voice shook a little when you spoke up, when confidence felt borrowed, temporary, like something that could vanish if challenged. You remember overthinking texts, replaying conversations, wondering if you said too much or not enough. Those nights didn't disappear. They turned into reference points. You learned where your footing actually is. That's why pressure doesn't rush you anymore. When something goes sideways, you don't scramble. Your mind gets quieter, sharper. You start seeing options instead of panic. People confuse that calm with coldness, but it's not that. It's familiarity. You've already survived scenarios worse than this one inside your head long before it showed up in real life. And the respect that's hitting you now carries a certain weight because it's unspoken. People don't gas you up the way they hype trends. They just shift. They include you differently. They stop testing boundaries. They stop assuming access to your time, your energy, your patience. Boundaries introduced themselves naturally once you stopped overextending. You can see the contrast clearly. The ones who only respect you publicly versus the ones who adjust privately. The private shift is the real one. That's where power is acknowledged without being performed. That's where people realize you're not someone to play with emotionally, mentally, strategically. You've seen too much, processed too much, lived too much to be moved by surface-level nonsense. And there's that AM awareness again. That realization that being underestimated was never a curse. It was cover. While attention was elsewhere, you were studying yourself, tightening weak spots, dropping habits that drained you, learning when to speak and when to stay silent without shrinking. That kind of self-trust makes it hard for anyone else to dominate your narrative. People feel you're less available emotionally, not closed off, just selective. You don't react to bait. You don't chase clarity with people who enjoy being confusing. You don't need to win arguments to feel grounded. That's grown person energy. That's respect yourself first energy. and it forces others to recalibrate their approach because the old tactics don't land anymore. There's also this subtle shift in how you hear compliments. They don't inflate you, they don't shake you, they just register because you've already sat with the harshest critiques, your own, and improved quietly. External validation can't compete with internal alignment. Once that clicks, everything else feels lighter. You walk knowing you're still learning, still sharpening, still evolving, and that humility keeps you dangerous in the best way. You don't peak early. You don't get loud when things start working. You stay observant, strategic, aware of cycles, patterns, timing. People respect what they can't predict but can't ignore. And when situations test you, relationships, money, loyalty, pressure to compromise, you recognize the moment instantly. That pause, that fork in the road, you've trained yourself to sit in it instead of rushing past it. That pause is power. Most people never build the muscle to hold it. That's why the way you carry yourself feels anchored, like you're not chasing the next emotional high or reacting to the loudest voice in the room. You've already felt broke, overlooked, unsure, exhausted, and kept moving anyway. That memory lives in your nervous system. It keeps you steady. And even as more eyes lock onto you, even as respect keeps showing up in unexpected ways, your internal focus doesn't drift. You stay tuned to the work, to the process, to the parts of yourself still unfolding. That awareness keeps expanding quietly, stretching into moments, conversations, decisions, shaping how you move through rooms that once dismissed you, how you stand without tension, how you speak without urgency, how you continue forward with that same calm intensity, humming under the surface, unresolved, active, alive. Alive in a way that keeps you alert without making you restless, like you finally learned how to sit in your own tension without trying to escape it. You notice how you don't need constant noise anymore. The scrolling slows down, the distractions don't hit like they used to. Your focus stretches longer, deeper. When you lock in, hours pass without friction, and that alone changes how people read you. They feel that you're not scattered, you're not grabbing for attention, you're operating from somewhere underneath the surface. And that's why people get uneasy around you before they get respectful. Because you're not reacting the way the script says you should. You don't rush to explain your side. You don't panic when misunderstood. You let things play out because you trust your consistency more than your image. That level of self-trust doesn't come from affirmations. It comes from watching yourself survive moments you thought would end you and realizing, quietly, that you're still standing. You start seeing patterns in people the same way you see patterns in situations. Who talks loud when they feel insecure? Who changes tone when they realize you can't be manipulated? Who starts praising once control slips out of their hands? You clock it without resentment. Just data, just information. And that's dangerous in a calm way, because emotional intelligence paired with restraint gives you leverage without you ever asking for it. And the respect keeps stacking in subtle ways. Invitations change, conversations deepen. People bring real problems to you, not surface junk. They sense you can handle weight, that you won't fold or gossip or flinch when things get uncomfortable. Reliability builds a reputation faster than charisma ever could. You remember when being patient felt like weakness, like you were letting moments pass you by. Turns out you were training timing. You were learning when to move and when to wait without freezing. That difference changes outcomes. That difference shifts trajectories. People feel safer around someone who doesn't rush decisions based on emotion or ego. Well, well, well. Look who finally woke up. Welcome to the version of you they were praying would never surface. You know the one I mean, not the polite one, not the nice one, not the one who played fair, forgave too soon, explained too much, and bled just to keep others warm. No, no. That one died, and you didn't even bury him. You left the corpse in plain view, a warning sign. You didn't come here to play anymore. You came to break the board and burn the rule book. Cold heart, hot drive, no fucks left to give. And that, right there, that's when they start to panic. Because they can feel it now, can't they? That shift, that silence, that bone-deep stillness that whispers, I'm not here for your comfort anymore. I'm here to collect. And suddenly they remember all the little knives they thought were harmless, all the jokes, the doubts, the dismissals, all the times they tried to shrink you so they could feel tall, cute little moves, funny, until they realize you were taking notes. You see, a cold heart isn't born. It's forged in disappointment, in betrayal, in silence, when you screamed for help and they just walked past. Again, and again, and again, until something snaps. And that's the moment you stop reaching out. You stop explaining. You stop trying to prove anything to anyone, because you finally understand. They heard you. They just didn't respect you. But now, oh now, they listen, because the fire in you isn't seeking approval. It's seeking revenge. Not the petty kind, not words or punches or noise, but success, destruction, a path so sharp and focused it slices through their egos like glass. And the best part? You don't even look back. That's what they can't handle, the way you go quiet. Not defeated quiet, focused quiet. The kind of quiet that builds empires while they gossip in circles. The kind of quiet that shows up one day 10 times harder, 10 times colder, and 100 times more dangerous. Because you're done with the emotions, done with guilt, done with pity, done wondering if you're being too much for people who were never enough. You gave them warmth, they gave you frostbite, now you give them ice. But inside that cold heart, there's a drive so hot it could melt steel. Not even rage, no. Rage burns fast. This is discipline, precision, surgical vengeance. Every insult, logged, every betrayal, indexed, every smirk, laugh, and eye roll, filed under future fuel. You don't speak about it, you become it. Because when you stop caring what they think, you become unrecognizable. You stop shrinking, you stop tiptoeing, you stop asking for permission from people who never earned the right to witness your rise, that they tried to tame you, tried to mold you, tried to guilt you into being less. But you were never too much. They were just too fucking fragile. Now you walk into the room and you don't say a word. You own it. Your presence is a threat. Your silence is a gun. And your focus, that's a fucking executioner's blade. They don't want to compete anymore. They want to survive. Because you're no longer trying to prove you deserve the seat. You're building the throne. And you know what's beautiful about all this? You're not angry anymore. You're clear. Clear on who you are, clear on what you bring, clear on what you're never accepting again. No more crumbs, no more half effort, no more people who only show up when it benefits them. You'd rather walk alone with bloody knuckles and a burning purpose than be surrounded by smiling snakes with plastic hearts. So let them panic, let them whisper, let them wonder how the fuck you got so strong. Here's the truth they can't swallow. You didn't just survive the fire, you became it. And now Now you're not asking who's going to let you rise. You're asking who's dumb enough to stand in your way. Because you've got a cold heart, a hot drive, and no fucks left to give. And that is their worst fucking nightmare. You want to know the real reason they're panicking? It's not just because you changed. It's because they knew this version of you was always there, lurking, bubbling, waiting. And now it's here, unleashed, uncaring, unfazed, unfucking stoppable. See, the scariest part isn't that you're angry, it's that you're not. There's no screaming, no breakdown, no need to justify a single move. You just cut people off mid-sentence, walk away with calm footsteps, and never, ever come back. That's the power they never prepared for. They built their control on your emotions, on your kindness, your hesitation. They knew how to pull strings until you cut the whole damn puppet show down. And now you walk different, eyes colder, shoulders straighter. You don't chase, you don't beg, your place. Because you finally learned closure is a cage, your past is a corpse, and peace, it's earned through domination, not forgiveness. You thought you needed justice. No. You needed distance. From them, from your old self, from the fucking noise. So you disappeared, rewired, rebuilt. Now you're back, and they don't recognize you. Because they were looking for the version they could guilt trip, control, manipulate. But instead they found a goddamn force of nature. You don't even hate them, you pity them because they had you, all of you, and they burned it. They thought you'd come crawling back with tears. Instead, you came back with a flamethrower. That's what they never understood. You didn't go quiet because you were weak. You went quiet because you were calculating. And now the calculation is over. The decision is made. And the verdict, you win. They vanish. You show up now, and they pretend they don't notice. But their eyes twitch. Their confidence cracks. Their voices stumble. Because deep down, they feel the monster they created breathing down their neck. Not with violence, with victory. And no, it's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your life will scream it loud enough. So keep that heart cold. Keep that drive burning. Because those two together, that's a fucking apocalypse. People think hell is chaos. Nah, hell is you focused. You locked in. You with boundaries. You not explaining. You not chasing. You not fucking caring. It's a beautiful thing to walk into a room full of people who used to doubt you and watch their souls evaporate when they realize you're no longer seeking their approval. You're aiming for legacy. They wanted to clip your wings, but all they did was teach you how to fly through fire. So now, you don't just succeed, you obliterate, you intimidate with grace, you destroy with discipline, you terrify with silence. Because the war isn't out there. The war was always in here. And you fucking won it. So let the world stare, let the whispers grow, let the fear spread like wildfire in their fragile little minds. You gave them warmth, they gave you scars. Now give them a legacy to choke on. This isn't revenge, this is rebirth. And the new you doesn't blink, doesn't break, and sure as hell doesn't give a fuck. You want to talk about power, not the kind they pretend to have, not followers, likes, fake friends, or loud words. Real power is quiet. It doesn't bark, it doesn't beg, it builds, it waits, it knows. That when the time is right, you walk in and everything bends. Because what they're starting to understand, what's finally sinking in, is that they didn't just lose you, they lost access to your time, to your energy, to your genius, to your loyalty, the kind that would have gone to war for them. But you see it now, don't you? They weren't allies, they were leeches, parasites who only loved you when you were dying quietly in their shadow. And now that you've stepped into the fucking spotlight, now that you've activated your full strength, oh, now they want to call you selfish, arrogant, heartless, good. Let them choke on those words. Let them sit in circles and try to dissect you, like they ever understood you in the first place. Because deep down, they know what's coming. They know you're not building for applause. You're building for legacy. And legacy doesn't give a fuck about feelings. Legacy doesn't explain itself to cowards. Legacy moves silently through blood and fire, smiling while the rest of the world scrambles for crumbs. You're not like them anymore. You don't move for validation. You move for domination. You don't compete. Your place. You've stopped playing chess with snakes. You built your own game. And guess what? There are no second chances in your arena, only casualties. They had time. They had access. They had warning. You even told them who you were becoming. You begged them to see it. They laughed. So now, they watch. They watch you evolve. They watch you rise. They watch you turn your pain into diamonds, while their own life sits exactly where they left it. Stagnant, small, safe, pathetic. Because they don't have what you have. That cold detachment. That ruthless consistency. That grit in your teeth when the world gets silent and the grind gets ugly. You don't need motivation anymore. You are the motivation. Cold heart, hot drive, no fucks, only fire. You've become a problem with no solution, a storm with no mercy, a shadow with no leash. And the most dangerous part? You've fallen in love with the darkness that made you. You no longer fear pain. You weaponized it. You turned scars into armor, tears into fuel, loneliness into leverage. So go ahead, let them panic. Let them stutter when your name comes up. Let them spin stories to protect their fragile egos from the truth. They had a seat next to greatness, and they fucking blew it. Because this time, there's no encore, no reunion, no maybe one day. This time, you don't just rise. You erase. And your legacy? It'll be carved into their regrets, etched into the silence that follows your absence, burned into every mirror they look into and remember what they could have had. But now it belongs to the monster they created. The one with a cold heart, the one with a hot drive, the one who doesn't blink and doesn't break and doesn't give a single fuck. You ever notice the shift? The moment people stop talking to you and start talking about you. It's because they finally realize you're not one of them anymore. You're not in their league. You're not on their radar. You're not even on the same fucking planet. You crossed the line of no return. The line where empathy dies and power is born. Where you stop needing to be understood and start needing only one thing, victory. Because here's the truth they'll never say out loud. You terrify them, not because you yell, not because you hurt anyone, but because you moved the hell on, with silence, with peaceful, surgical indifference. And they can feel it. Every time you pass them, every time your name comes up, every time they see what you've become, they flinch because you made it, and worse, you made it without them. You didn't call, you didn't cry, you didn't explain a damn thing. You just disappeared and rebuilt your kingdom from the ashes they left behind. And now, You sit on a throne, made of every moment they underestimated you. Every time they chose someone else. Every fake smile, every ghosted message, every backhanded compliment. Your throne isn't made of gold, it's made of memory, and it's heavy because it's real. Now they want to come back. Now they want to reconnect. Now they remember how close we used to be. Hilarious. They miss the old you, the version who tolerated, who excused, who gave too many damn chances. But that one's gone. You buried him in a grave called enough. And over that grave, you built a fucking empire. Now you walk different. Now you don't pause to explain your silence. You don't slow down to soothe anyone's guilt. You outgrow them. You outpace them. You outclass every damn one of them. Because you finally get it. You're not meant to be liked. You're meant to be remembered. Etched into their fears, branded into their regrets. The one that got away. No. The one who left them behind and never looked back. Let them panic. Let them gossip. Let them study every move you make like you're a goddamn myth. Because you are. You've become the ghost in their guilt, the shadow in their shame, the legend they tell when the room goes quiet. You've stopped being a person to them. You're a consequence. And that's what happens when you sharpen your soul into a weapon, when your love dies but your hunger lives, when you kill the version of yourself who begged, and let the one who builds take the throne. Now, you don't chase dreams, you drag them into existence. The bloody, screaming, real. No one gave you permission, so you took it. No one gave you love, so you became your own fucking religion. No one gave you closure, so you burned the bridge and walked through the flames untouched. You're not human to them anymore. You're a reminder of what happens when you betray someone who would have killed for you. And instead you made them kill the weak parts of themselves just to survive what you did. So now they watch from the sidelines, powerless, jealous, sinking, while you walk calmly through hell with a grin. Cold heart, hot drive, no fucks left, only legacy now. But now they still think you're trying to prove something. Cute. They still think there's a part of you that wants applause, validation, closure, maybe even reconciliation. Let me make this crystal fucking clear. You're not trying to prove anything anymore. You're becoming something. And what you're becoming, it doesn't need anything. It doesn't wait for approval. It doesn't even recognize the voices of the past. Because you're no longer playing the game. You are the game. You're not a person to them anymore. You're a system, a machine, built on pain, powered by purpose, and engineered to never break again. You're not out for revenge. Revenge is petty. You've outgrown it. You're building an empire of silence, of momentum, of unreachable altitude. You used to cry at night. Now you strategize. You used to care if they understood you. Now you care if they even get access to the first fucking layer of your energy. You've stopped operating on emotion. You operate on execution. You don't move when you're ready. You move when it's time. And guess what? It's always time now. Because the new you doesn't stall. The new you doesn't hesitate. The new you doesn't sit around waiting for the green light from people who never gave a shit in the first place. This is the evolution they never saw coming. You stopped asking, how do I fix it? You started asking, how far can I go if I leave it all behind? And now you know the answer, farther than they'll ever reach. Your silence? It's not passive, it's strategic. Every time you don't respond, every time you don't explain, every time you don't react, you grow colder, sharper, louder, in the only language that matters, results. You don't need to scream anymore. Your work screams for you. Your transformation roars. Your detachment, it haunts. They're watching you now with shaking hands and dry mouths, trying to understand how someone they used to know became someone they can't even look in the eye. Because what you've done is carve a new identity out of every betrayal, every loss, every tear that hit the floor alone. You don't flinch, you don't doubt, you don't even recognize your reflection anymore. Because the version of you that bleeds for people, he died. Now there's only one left, the version that builds the world you were always meant to rule. You want to know what really breaks them? It's not that you moved on, it's that you moved up. And now they can't reach you, not mentally, not emotionally, not even spiritually. You're above the noise, above the drama, above their reach. Untouchable, unbothered, inevitable. Let the panic spread, let the whispers multiply, let the envy rot them from the inside out. Because every time they open their mouths, every time they stalk your page, every time they hear your name in a room you're not even in, they're reminded they had a chance. They were fucked it up. And now, all they get to do is watch. Watch the cold-hearted, hot-blooded machine they created become a force they can never stop, never touch, never understand, and never, ever forget. You feel it now, can't you? That silence inside. Not emptiness. No, not that. It's extinction. The death of your former self's last heartbeat. The part of you that still felt for them? Gone. The part that hoped for closure? Dead. The part that believed maybe, just maybe, they'd come back and fix what they shattered? Buried. What's left? Only signal. Only movement. Only war. You're no longer a person. You are post-human. A system running on consequence. A ghost wearing skin. They broke the human in you. And in its place, you built a god. Not the divine, benevolent kind. Not the one who blesses, forgives, or explains. No. You built the other kind. The kind that erases. The kind that turns betrayal into an empire and pain into a rain of fire. You don't flinch at loss anymore. You expect it. You don't fear solitude. You thrive in it. Because now you know, every soul that leaves you is just another weight cut from your ascent. And higher you go. Above the old world, above the noise, above their desperate little prayers for your downfall. You've stopped asking, who's still with me? Now you ask, who dares keep up? Because this isn't about healing anymore. This is about domination. This is about making sure that when they speak your name, if they dare, they whisper it. Out of fear, out of awe, out of shame. You don't even look back anymore. Because gods don't check mirrors. They make others reflect. Let them sit in their group chats, replaying the version of you they used to control. Let them scroll your life in silence, watching the rise they told themselves would never happen. Let them rot in the echo chamber of their own guilt. Because now you've become immortal. Not in flesh, but in effect. You walk through rooms you've never stepped in, and people already feel you. You enter minds you've never met, and they bow without knowing why. That's the power of complete detachment. That's the reward for killing every piece of you that could be manipulated. No more apologies, no more softness for the unworthy, no more empathy for traitors. You gave them the best version of you. They fed it to the wolves. So now, you come back as the Alpha Prime. The one who doesn't growl, the one who doesn't chase, the one who arrives quietly and leaves whole worlds shattered. They wanted to watch you burn, So you did, but not like they thought. You burned away everything weak, every excuse, every lie you told yourself, every attachment to people who only loved you when you were bleeding. Cold heart, hot drive, no fucks. Only God mode left.